in the beginning, things were going perfectly well. You were vibing with this person, texting each other back and forth, hanging out with them. But then gradually and slowly, this person's interest was beginning to die down. They're not texting you as much as they used to. They're not wanting to hang out with you as they used to in the past. They're not initiating that contact. And now you're left wondering, why has this person lost interest? What have I done? Why have they lost that interest? You're in complete confusion and bewilderment about why, about where it all went wrong. You don't have all the answers, but today, I'm going to give you some clarification. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can tell whether people have lost interest in you and how to overcome that. So, without no further ado, let's delve right in. So, if you notice yourself being the initiator, you're always the one initiating the contact when it comes to a friendship, when it comes to talking to somebody, and that person isn't pulling their weight, that just clearly tells you that they do not value the friendship. They do not care about you. Because if they did care, I'm going to be quite direct here. But if a person cares about you, if a person or a friend or anybody in your life, if they truly care about you, then they would inquire about your health and well-being. They would contact you frequently. Now, if you always find out that you're the one who is having to participate in initiating that contact and they're not really doing the same thing for you, they're not really doing that back, they're not really putting in their hard work and effort in to keep this relationship alive, then it means that they do not value it. They do not care whatsoever about maintaining this friendship, about maintaining this relationship. If a person is genuinely interested in you, they would make that time out of their day, no matter how busy they are, whether they have 5 or 10 minutes or 2 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever time that they have on their hands, they would make sure to contact you. They would make sure to show how much they care about you, show how much they appreciate you by sending you a little message or just finding out how you are by visiting your house or something like that. Yeah? So if you always find out that you're the one who is being the initiator when it comes to friendships or any type of relationship in your life, that person clearly does not care. They're not committed, you know? So you're the one who's always putting in the hard work. You're the one who's always having to message that person and always having to start the contact first. I'm just going to wait for this. I'm going to wait for this lady to go in her house. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. If you always find out that you're the one having to initiate the contact in that circumstance, then that person clearly does not care. They do not value the friendship as much as you do. Alright, everyone's gone in their houses now, haven't they? Alright, cool. If you're always the one having to initiate the contact, having to speak to this person in order to get some type of interaction out of them, in order for them to speak to you, all the time you're doing that, and they're not really interested, they never reach out to you first, then you're milking a dead cow. You're talking to a person, you're trying to initiate contact with a person who clearly shows no interest in you whatsoever. Yeah? And I speak about this in my video titled Stop Milking a Dead Cow. I talk about how when you initiate contact with the person who isn't interested, you're basically milking a dead cow. I go into detail about that phrase in that video, so if you want to give that a watch, I'm going to leave the link in the description. Right, so the second thing to identify whether a person has lost interest in you is they don't make any plans to hang out with you. If you know a person in real life, not online, because I know that we can get a lot of online friendships. If you've met your friend or partner or whoever it is regularly, and all of a sudden, abruptly, they have this cut-off period, they're starting to distance themselves, you feel like you're drifting apart from this person. If you're making plans to hang out with them and they're constantly making excuses, then chances are they're not interested. They're not interested, so move on. I've been in lots of situations in life where I'm genuinely interested in friends. I'm genuinely interested in potential partners and potential... what's the word? I'm trying to look for the right word. Potential love interests, that's it. Yeah, potential love interests. I had interest in these people and I would work extremely hard, put in 100% of my effort to the point where I feel depleted. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If that person isn't willing to reciprocate that back and give you their all, they're not worth you giving all of their time and energy into. Yeah? You need to surround yourself with people who are interested in you. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people, because these shitty people who you're constantly spending all of your time and your energy on and they're not reciprocating that back, they're not worth it. Why are you initiating contact with people who aren't showing you that interest back? Why are you going out of your way and buying stuff for people? You're being a people pleaser, and you know that this person couldn't care if you die. Yeah, they just don't care. So why are you doing this for? You need to stop doing this now. So the first thing is, if they don't reach out to you first. The second thing, they don't make plans to meet up with you. And the third thing, which I think is one of the most clear indicators if someone's not interested, is when you get into a conversation with this person, they give everybody else their energy, they give everybody else their time and their attention, and you can clearly see that they're happy with somebody else. They're smiling, they're giving their eye contact, everything to this person. The body language is telling you that they're happy with this person and everything is fine, yeah, when they're with somebody else. But when they're talking to you, they don't give you eye contact. Their body language is closed, they're very defensive. They're like this, basically. They're basically like this, very defensive, right? And they're not giving you eye contact. They're looking all around the room, everything. They're looking on their phone. That basically tells a person that they do not care. That basically tells you that if they're doing that, if they're not even giving you the time of day to look up from their phone when you're speaking to them, that basically shows that they do not value you as a person. Because if they did, they'd be paying you attention. They'd be giving you eye contact. They'd be smiling. And they'd be reciprocating that happy energy that you're giving to them, that you're radiating to them. But chances are, if they're acting differently around other people, but then they act all hostile, you can feel this tension, you can feel this hostility, this aminosity there. That shows that they're not interested in you, they do not like you. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is they're not willing to take your olive branch. They're not willing to receive that olive branch that you extend out to them. I have personal experience of all of these things that I'm talking about, which makes me perfectly qualified to talk about this subject. So there was this one situation. I happened to know this guy online and I messaged him and I extended that olive branch. I extended my olive branch out to him as a sign that I want to initiate a deep connection, a deep friendship with this person. So I gave this person my number and I was like, yo, I really want to get close to you, right? I want to form a deeper connection. Yeah, I want to be close friends with you. No hate to this person whatsoever, but they gave me an excuse. They gave me the most shittiest excuse. It was such a bullshit excuse. It was such a shitty excuse, and I could see right through the bullshit. Because in today's modern day society, it's very easy to make excuses. It's very easy to sugarcoat the harsh truth, because people are so sensitive in today's modern day society. So you will not find a person tell you their actual intentions. They will most likely tell you the filtered down version, the lie, which comes in the form of excuses. So they'll tell you if they don't want to go out somewhere, they won't say that, oh, I don't want to go out here. They won't say that explicitly. They will say that, no, I've got to go to a dentist appointment, or I've got to look after my mum. They will make up an excuse. And this is what infuriates me. Just say the honest truth. If you don't want to do something, then just say that. Then just say it. If you don't like somebody, then just tell them. Obviously, you'd be very polite about it. You'd be polite as possible, but you just have to be honest with people. And that's one of the things that is quite hard for us to do in today's modern day society, because it's so easy to revert back to our ways of being a people pleaser and having to sugarcoat the harsh truths of reality. Another thing is the tonality of their voice. So if you talk to a person and they're clearly not interested, they're like, oh my God, it's such a chore for me to speak to this person. If that's the type of mindset that they're in, when they're talking to you, they will express that non-verbally, and especially verbally as well. So let's say I'm talking to a person right now. Let's say this is Amanda, right? Amanda is a very attractive girl. I always seem to be talking to attractive girls in my videos. I don't know why. I'm just talking to them. So I'm talking to this attractive girl, Amanda, and she clearly has no interest in me. Hey, Amanda, hey. Yeah, you started your new gym membership. Yeah, like you started 2 weeks ago. Like, how's that going for you so far? Like, what's your most favorite equipment to work out on? Yeah, so like, I think like the treadmill or something. Okay, so the treadmill. Okay, right, that's cool. I know that's really good for the legs, right? So like, how fast can you run on that treadmill? Like, that must be insane. Like, you've just been going 2 weeks and you already look quite muscular. Like, oh yeah, like, Thank you, I guess. You can clearly see she doesn't need to tell me that she's not interested. She doesn't need to express that verbally to me, but I can tell. You could tell from the tonality of her voice. Very uninterested, like very unenthusiastic, like fidgeting about, like not even giving me proper eye contact, like that type of thing. If they're genuinely interested in talking to you, they will give you longer answers. They won't give you these short, mundane, dry answers that leads the conversation to go nowhere. They won't do that. They would make the conversation a bit more fluid. They would give you more of a response. They would go into detail. They would go into extensive amounts of detail about the thing that they're talking about if they're genuinely interested in talking to you. Whereas if they're not interested, they will let the conversation die down. They will say the most driest thing. They will purposely do that so that the conversation goes nowhere, so that they can quickly get out of speaking to you. But yeah, I think I forgot to talk about my experience. So this is future me coming in here. All right, so I was having a conversation with a girl and I could tell that the body language was off. She wasn't looking me straight in the eyes. Her body language was closed off. She didn't have that enthusiastic tone in her voice when she was speaking to me, and I could clearly tell right there that, okay, this person is not interested. They do not like me. She didn't like me. I could tell. She didn't need to express that to me, but it's just that a non-verbal communicator, the body language, and especially the verbal communication as well, the tone of voice. So when someone's speaking to you, you can determine how much they like you. If they're speaking to you with such enthusiasm, with such happiness, you can tell. That's a clear indicator that they're interested in you, that they like you, that they respect you, that they have a place for you in their heart. If they speak to you with lack of enthusiasm, they just don't give a fuck about you, mate. Sorry to tell you. They don't care, they're not interested. Alright? So, yeah, I think it just comes down to having a good social awareness, basically, and just being able to analyse people, their body language, tone of voice. You will be able to understand all of this once you hang around with more people and when you start to watch more of my videos, because I will go into detail about these things. So yeah, I will leave you with the past version of myself sitting on the bench. Because when a person that you do not like is speaking to you and you have to be civil because you're in a work environment, right? You wouldn't necessarily be interested in forming a long conversation with them. You'd want this conversation to quickly end right there and then. So what you would do is you would give them dry responses like, yeah, okay, that's fine, whatever, okay? Yeah, you would give them these dry responses so that the conversation quickly dies down. Because you can't express that hostility in a workplace, can you? You don't feel like you can. Because you have to be civil with this person. You feel like it's an obligation every time that they speak to you. You feel like you have to be nice. You feel like you have to do the job accordingly so that you don't get sacked. Yeah, so you have to be nice. But when you're in situations, other situations where you're talking to friends, right? Yeah, YouTube. When you're talking to friends, when you're talking to your partner, when you're talking to anybody, whatever type of relationship that you're in, it's best to be honest with that person. It may hurt that person, and it may be hard for you to be honest. It may be hard for you to do so. But it's a thing that you're going to have to do, because honesty is the best policy. I think it is so toxic to be pretending that you have an interest in somebody, because that person could be genuinely interested in you and you're just using them for what they have. You're not feeling the same way. So they're basically wasting their time on a person who doesn't care about them, wasting their time on a person who doesn't truly value them for who they are. They could be spending their time with someone who is interested in them, who loves them for who they truly are. Whereas they're spending their time on you. They're spending their time on a person who doesn't give a fuck about them, who doesn't care about them, who's not interested in their existence. And that is what's so heartbreaking. That is what's so heartbreaking, because it's kind of like you're holding that person captive. Because whilst they're spending time with you, with a person who isn't interested in them, you're not interested in this person, but you're faking that interest. But they're spending their time, they're giving you their 100% energy, they're being happy, they're trying to vibe with you, and then you just don't reciprocate that back. They could be spending their time with somebody else who is interested, who will give them the energy back. So don't hold people back. Don't waste their time. If you're not interested in them, then let them go, because they can go on to meet other people who are interested. Don't lead people on, yeah, because that's what it's basically like. You're leading people on. You're stringing them along because you're leading them into this false sense of reality, this fabrication that you're creating for them, this illusion. They think that you're interested, whereas in actuality you aren't. You don't want it to be 5 years from now and you don't like this person, you're still in this relationship with this person. They think that you love them so much, whereas you don't. It's going to break their heart if you leave it that long. If you wait that long, 5, 10 years, and you do not love them, that's going to break their heart. But whereas if you tell them right now, it will prevent it from getting to that stage. Once you know your value, once you know your place, once you know how amazing you are, it will be of no relevance whether people are interested in you or not. Because I used to get those thoughts in my head sometimes that people aren't interested, but I've learned to understand my value. I've learned to understand how amazing I am as a person. I tell myself I'm interesting. I tell myself I'm a good person. I tell myself that I'm interesting. I matter. I'm confident. Yeah, I'm an interesting person. I'm a kind, generous person, and people would love to have me in their lives. So I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that I'm an amazing person. And I know that if someone's not interested in me, then I can just get somebody else. I can make a new friend, yeah? Because I know that I can easily get people in my life, because that's the type of person that I am, yeah? I'm an amazing person. I'm kind. So if you're not interested, then I'm sorry to say, but that's your loss. I couldn't give a fuck. You can go right now, yeah? Get the fuck out of my life if you're not interested. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, yeah? Because I know how amazing I am. I know my self-worth. So if you're not interested, then that's fine. I'll move on. I will make more friends. I will meet someone who is genuinely interested in David, all right? So you not having interest in me is not going to really affect me as much. So yeah, you have to have that type of attitude. You need to have that type of attitude, because once you have that attitude, you're invincible. No one can affect you. So anyways, guys, that concludes today's video. And without no further ado, I'm going to conclude with this. When you fall down, pick yourself back up again like the warrior that you are, and you keep fighting the fight. You keep fighting that fight, guys. And I shall see you in the next video. Peace out.